Okay, so this is my first time doing something like this, but this is my gameplay in the background, and I'm going to be showing, or not showing, but I'm going to be saying some stories, and tell me if you want another part in the comments, and please like it if you like this video. But so I'm going to be talking about one of my medical experiences. So I grew up in and out of the hospital a lot, and so I went to the hospital to get my blood draw because I did surgeries a lot and I had low iron and stuff. So I was getting blood work done, but because I was there so often, I was needle phobic, which means I was terrified of needles and everything. So what could have taken like 15 minutes turned into over an hour, and my mom and a nurse was laying over top of me, not like completely squishing me, but holding me down so then they could get the blood drop, but it wasn't working and I was thrashing too much, and they were giving me time to calm down, and I was calming down, and I told them that I was ready. But then right as they were getting ready to do it, the dude next to us, it had multiple patients in this room, and they were all separated by curtains. He pulled the curtain back, and he stepped in, shoving the nurse out of the way. And then, as he walked over towards me, at this time, my mom was teaching me about saying no, or I don't want this, or I don't want this to happen to me, or no consent, because I was in and out of the hospital. So I kept on yelling, no, I don't consent, as in I didn't want him to do my blood draw, because he had a giant needle and he was trying to do the blood draw for me, or for the other nurses, because he was sick and tired of hearing a child screaming because of they were terrified of getting their blood draw in a children's hospital. And then my mom got in the way and said, dude, back off, go back to your own patient. We got it handled here. She was just calming down, and she says she doesn't want you to do it, so please back off. And he pushed my mom and refused to listen to her, pushing her out of the way, and came closer as I was terrified, and I was screaming for him to stop, and that I didn't want him to do my blood draw, because I used the butterfly needles, which is a way smaller needle, kind of like what they use in IVs and stuff for children. That's the only needle I had ever used. But he was trying to use one of the bigger needles that they used to use for adults and stuff. So it looked terrifying. And my mom literally had to bear hug over top of me and barricade myself underneath her to get the dude to back off. And he was yelling at my mom, trying to shove her off and pull her off of me for whatever reason. And he was like crashing out so hard because I wasn't just letting him take my blood, even though I wasn't his patient. And next to us, his patient actually looked like he wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole, because he did not want to be in this situation, as now they didn't have the curtain blocking them and they were right next to us, and an adult, but he couldn't really step in to do anything, so it was just kind of sitting there. And the dude, he couldn't shove my mom off, and he called her the B word, and I can't remember too much, as I started to have a genuine panic attack and like almost blacked out. And next thing I know, the dude was either out of the room or back in his station. I don't know, but the curtain was closed, and it was just the nurses and my mom in there, and my mom was comforting me, telling me to take deep breaths and stuff. And then it took us about another hour or two to just wind me down from that, just because of that dude, which I was ready to get my blood drawn, but that dude had come in at the worst time possible. and it caused us to have to wait even longer. But I finally got my blood draw, and we haven't gone to that hospital since for blood work, and now we have to drive to another hospital that's way better, that's over 3 hours away every time I get blood work, just because of that. And that's the end of the story. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this. I know this isn't my usual content, but I kind of wanted to try it.